Okay, we're gonna create our skin material in Unreal Engine now. So we are starting with the digital human project. Reason being, it's a bit hard in Unreal to create a good setup to showcase your skin, and it does take a long time to do that. And I want to keep the classes only related to material, textures, and a little bit of shader work. Setting up scene is gonna be a long thing, so we are starting with digital human, and that's what I do for my personal project as well. This one has good things set up technically, and both, well, it's mostly technical. All right, so in order to get this, if this is the first time you're starting in Epic Games, and not Epic Games but Epic Launcher, you will have Unreal installed. You will have to, then you go to learn, and anytime now, there it is. So if you scroll down, you can download the digital human project right here. So you go back to libraries, you go down and you create a project. You just make it into a folder someplace. It will download 1 GB and you will be done. Then double click on this guy and this will open up. So this is the first time I'm loading this scene in. So you guys can see how I bring this guy, delete the stuff that we already got, and start making it my own. Sweet. So we have digital mic opened, and let me slow down the speed. Yep. Let's make the camera 45 because 90 sucks. And it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a while because it's compiling the shader. So we're going to give it that time. If I press G, I can hide and unhide the guides. So let's keep it like this. Let's close this guy. So here are the things that we are going to do. You can do it step by step, but maybe step by step would work better. So first thing, we want to create a new folder that will be, I haven't named the face yet. I usually name my character. It does make you a bit emotionally connected to them, which is not a good thing, but I do that sometimes. So we are importing our models, which will be on week 3 for me. For you guys, it will be prodded. Then we have it under work files. Nope, face. Wait, it should be work files, and there it is. So we need face low FBX. That will be skeletal mesh. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Import all. So by the time this thing gets to you guys should also have the eyes. Oh, there is the eyes. So let's bring this guy in, zoom out, press G, and let me reset my user interface. So one thing to keep in mind, if you reset your user interface in Unreal, it for some weird reason it has to restart, which is quite annoying. Why are you doing this? I'm just going to keep it floating for now. So here's my detail, window, world outliner. Here's my world outliner, and these are our objects. I'm going to click on this reset thingy, so it brings back to the center of the world, and I guess it's in a right place. I'm just going to move it, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Yeah, if you guys haven't used Unreal before, I would recommend just go just do a small YouTube introductory video, because the user interface in Unreal is quite weird. Okay. All right, so this is the guy we have. We're gonna pick in mic, hit H to hide it, and it's gone. Every time you restart your scene, he's gonna be visible. If you don't want that, you click on mic, you go down on your details, and you make it disable the visible, an actor hidden in the game, and you're good to go. Just double click on this guy and save it. So, all right, anyway, we have our model loaded in. I'm gonna do a quick thing. I'm going to characters, mic, it should be under shared, eye material, and this is the eye, drag and drop. Wrong eye, drag and drop. Okay, I guess I don't have the UVs. Never mind, let's create a new material. Drag and drop. Okay, By the time you guys get this, you will have the eyes, and you can just drag and drop this material to have a visible eye. Same for marmoset. But ignoring that, I talked for too long. Okay, so once mic is gone, we are going to focus on our own face and how to create the material. So the easiest thing to do is go to Google, find out this map created by your own truly, download this guy, paste it in, and use that. Yeah, seriously, that's it. Just use that. Or maybe not. I know that was a bad joke, but it was, in a sense, I wanted to like explain it to you guys that 90% of the time as a character artist, that's gonna be the case where you download a material, not download from somebody specific, but your technical artist in your studio will make a material for you, and you will have to just drag and drop things in there to use it, same as in marmoset. But I guess that there's no fun. So there's no fun not creating your own material. So we're gonna create our own material now. All right, but if you guys wanna study or need an advanced one, we're gonna create a simplistic one, enough to get our work done. It's kind of like marmoset. But if you need something advanced, I have this guy shared. You can download it and you can learn from it. Just break it down, reverse engineer it to figure out what I was doing or something. But there it is. So how are we going to create our own material? To start with, we are going to characters, Mikey. I think it's pronounced Mike. Mikey is more fun. So shared skin material. Nope, that's shirt. So here's the material. Duplicate it. That will be our male head. So this is going to be our thing. Drag and drop this guy, and to, where's my head, content. Oh, we named it face. So going back to characters, shared skin materials, drag this guy. Oh, see what I was talking about. Unreal's user interface is kind of weird. Characters, shared skin material, and we're dragging and dropping this guy to face and moving it here. So we have things a bit organized. So open this guy up, and we are starting with this one. It looks like quite weird because we are using Meet Mike's face right now, and this is how Meet Mike's material look like. So what are we going to do? We are going to take everything that we have and we are going to delete it. And delete. Sweet. We just want to focus on this guy. We just wanted this guy from Meet Mike's thingy. Anyway, so let's start creating our material. First thing I'm going to do is create a constant. That will be, oh no. So we want to right click. That will be texture, sample parameter 2D. So we want this guy, plug into base color, name it base color. Then we want to do the same thing. We go to texture, sample parameter 2D. Let's just copy it so I save some time. We want this guy to be in our AO. We want this guy to be in our normal map. Where is my normal? There it is. We have AO done, we have normal done. Specular will be a value, so that's fine. Roughness will be a thing we will discuss later on. And I guess most of the things are fine. I'm just going to keep this guy right there for some reason. So there it is, normal and AO. So the reason I'm using parameter 2D is you will see that soon if you don't already know what I'm doing, but let's keep it for later on. So what's next? Let's create a specular value. So if I hold 1 and left click, I give this guy, I just drag this guy to my specular, and that's going to be a value for my spec. Let's right click, convert it to a parameter. That will be specular base, saying it's a base specular value. Let's do the same thing for roughness. this will be our roughness base value, which goes right here. Awesome. So this is the most simplistic one we can build right now, but we are going more advanced, one step at a time. So once we have this done, let's bring in our base map, and we are going to add a Fresnel. We're going to make it multiply. We are multiplying that with a constant, and if you haven't guessed it, we are using this to make fuzz. So if you remember from the cloth, that's how we added fuzz, that's how we are faking it. So we are going to add, we wanted to add an add node. Try saying that 3 times, it's weird. Okay, plugging it here, dragging this guy to base color, and we have this guy done. Okay, then what else do we have? We have normal map, but let's keep it for AO is done. We are not dealing with AO anymore, and that's our base color. All right, anyway, let's deal with normal. So we want to have normal, but we want a control that controls the intensity of my base normal map, like how much intense it is. So to do that, we're going to use a warp. Oh, my bad. We're going to use, I keep forgetting the name. So we're going to use make float 3, and we are adding a constant to this guy, rename it to normal intensity. There it is. We are adding one more constant, and that will be 1. This will not change. Now we multiply this guy to this guy, and we plug in this guy. So this value will control the intensity of our normal map. Okay, so we have this guy done. Now we want to add a detailed normal map. So this is our main normal map, and now we are adding a detailed normal map. So let's just bring in this guy. Glad I saved it. Let's save one more for later on. This will be detailed normal map. All right, so before I add a intensity slider for this guy, I'm gonna add a mask which will use our detail weight map that we made from substance to mask out where this affects and where it won't. So we're gonna make one more make float 3, and we're gonna give it value of 1. Then we're gonna add one more of this guy. So here it goes, and I'm plugging in this guy to both of these guys. I'm picking my red because it's a grayscale map, and if I'm using a grayscale map, I like to use the source as red. Just a personal thing. I don't think it makes a difference. I just use red for some reason. Maybe because it helps me differentiate which one is an grayscale map or a colored map. So I guess just for that. Once we have this, we are going to multiply these guys. So multiply, you multiply, and this gives us our detailed map. Now we want this to have an intensity. So same thing, make float 3, plug this guy. Oh, my bad. Have a constant, make it parameter. This will be detail normal intensity. Oh, okay, have a constant which is 1, and it won't change. Then let's multiply these guys and these guys, and we're done. Oh, just organizing it a bit. I might not have time in this video to organize better, but please do. So one more thing, if you select these guys and hit C, it groups them into a small folder, so we can name it. So let's name it C, detail normal map. So since we don't, the reason we are adding these is we don't have to I guess this is self-explanatory. We increase the intensity of our normal in Marmoset because there was no way to increase it. But since we are in Unreal now, we can build this system. So once we have this guy, detail normal and normal, now we have to blend it. To blend it, we are using a node called blend angle corrected normals, and we want to have our base normal to this guy and additional normal to this guy. Then before finalizing it, we want to add a normalize, add this here and plug it in our normal map. Sweet. So we have our normal finished. So let's push it aside, group it, group my base color, and this will be normal. Okay, what next? So AO is done. Let's keep it aside. Don't like it. Specular and roughness is something we're gonna build now. So who should I start with? I guess let's start with specular. So here it goes. With specular, we want to add a Fresnel, a thing that controls our specular around the Fresnel. Then we want to have a base specular. Then we want our specular to have a cavity multiplication, and we want to make sure we have a slider that controls the intensity of the cavity. All right, so it's going to go step by step as well. So this is our base specular. Then we have, let's go back, copy this guy, bring in here, make a parameter. Oh, it's already a parameter, name it cavity. So there is our cavity, normal, detail. So let's name this one weight map. So for our cavity, how we are going to multiply it? So I can easily just go in and make it multiply, and there we go, but it does not give me a slider to control the intensity of this guy. So to do that, we're going to keep this multiply, we're going to lerp, linear interpolate. Again, you guys can find the detail on this guys in Unreal's website. I'm just showing you guys how I use them. So we are using it as a B, and we are plugging in our specular to A, and we are plugging in a constant which is a parameter, and it's named specular cavity, and this one controls the intensity of this guy. Then we just plug in this guy to our specular, and we have a cavity slider. Now we want to add a Fresnel thing, so let's start that. Fresnel multiply a constant which will be named spec Fresnel, and we are adding this to this guy, and this guy. Okay, that covers it for our spec. And I'm going to keep the cavity as a separate thing right now because we want to use this in our albedo and roughness as well soon. Okay, so we have this guy done. Let's move on to our roughness. So for roughness, if you remember, we made a special texture sheet to have a slider controlling our roughness. So we're going to build that. It's going to be a bit messy now. So let me just take a break. I've been speaking for a long, and just in 5 minutes I will start it again. Okay, so let's start building that. Let's keep our base a bit separate. Let's bring in one more of this guy, probably the last we need, and let's name it roughness zones. Oh, not typing anything. Okay, so we have a zone. Let's create a constant. That will be 1. And now I'm going to use a 1 minus node, copy it 4 times. Oh, copy it 3 times. So we have 4. Plug in our red. Green, blue, and alpha channel in there. And there it is. There's that. You want to create a lerp. So linear interpolate, make 4 of these guys. Stop doing that. Oh, sorry, Unreal does that. Okay, so we have lerp. This guy will be plugged in A of everything. There it is. These guys will be plugged on B of every separate one, and we will create 4 constant, and there will be parameters. So first one will be roughness 1, this one will be roughness 2, this one will be roughness 3, this one will be roughness 4. So we have this goes here, 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 and here. Now we need to multiply this guy and this guy, this guy and this guy. Now multiply everything together, this guy and this guy, and there we have it. Okay, now we want to have a slider that changes our roughness base and multiplies it to this guy. So we are doing the same thing as the specular. Multiply it, this guy, and create a linear node. So this guy will be B, our base roughness will be A, and this one will control the intensity. So that will be base. Oh, my bad. We want it to not be a parameter. We want it to be 1. But now I see it, I don't know what's the need of this. So we can just do this, do that. Because if it's 1, B is going in and B is this guy. So let's delete it. That was unnecessary. So here it is. Okay. So we have our slider system made up, but let's say you want to use a roughness map instead of this mumbo jumbo. We can do that. How we're going to do it is we're going to create, let's bring in one more this guy. This will be our roughness, and we want to have a switch. So this will be a static switch. Plug in this guy. We want it to be true. We want this guy to be false. Then I'm going to create a static bool. Oh, delete this. We need a static bool parameter. So let's type in bool. So static bool parameter. This will control use a roughness map. Plug in this guy and plug in this guy to roughness. Nice. Then to end it, we want to add a Fresnel. So that will be Fresnel, multiply, nothing new that we haven't done. Give it a constant, convert to parameter, roughness, Fresnel. There it is. And we want to add these guys. So this one, and it plugs in this one. But before we do that, we want our cavity to be added in roughness as well. So to add it, this is how we're going to do it. So let me bring my cavity down below for now. So we want to create a multiply this result with this result, make it linear, and have this guy go to B and have this guy go to A. Then we have our constant telling it roughness cavity. To end it, just plug in this guy right here and we are done. Damn it, that was a bit tiring. Okay, so we have our roughness done. Last thing, to finish everything, we want our cavity to also be added in our base color. Same thing which we had a slider for in Marmoset. But since we are in Unreal, instead of having a black color multiplied, we can give it colors, which is quite interesting. So let's go and add that. Okay, so for this, we want to create a linear lerp. This guy, let's use the red. Okay, so I'm going to plug in guys in the red because it's a grayscale. Use red in B. For our A, it will be completely 1 and we won't change it. Then we have a constant which will define, our color cavity, and we wanna use this to lerp between a color. So we will bring in a constant 3 vector, convert it to parameter, base color cavity color. You guys can name it properly. I'm just naming it anything I want right now. So this one will be B. Wait, hold on. If it's white, it's gonna show us our base color. Oh, never mind. So it goes in A, and our base color, which will be this guy, goes here. So this guy will go right here. Sweet. And one more thing I like to do, it's a cheat, but I multiply a constant to my base color. So there it is. Plug in this guy. By default it will be 1, but I will convert it into a parameter which will be base color. No, stop doing that. Base color brightness. Because sometimes I feel if the albedo is too dark or too bright, I can just change it with a slider instead of going back. It's a cheap trick, but I'm lazy sometimes, so I keep it. Alright, so I guess that's it. Oh, where is that? You guys don't have to create this. I just wanted to show you guys, if you ever have to start it from scratch, these are the things I add, and these are the things you can do. It's not very educational where I'm teaching you guys what it's doing and why I'm doing this. It's more of like a step-based thing. So if you want to create your own, try this, and once you get a hang of it, you can create something like this. So this was the material that I made. This is our shader, and everything is connected with it, is doing something, and most of it, whichever you see, seems to be quite confusing, but it's only this thing repeated a lot of times and some new things here and there. But yeah, creating things in Unreal is quite liberating. You won't experience it unless you do it yourself. So just as a practice, try copying what I did one by one and figure out what you feel. If you feel like you're someone who can create its material, go more deep on it and learn more. If you feel like you just want to plug and play, you have that independence. I have provided the material. Your technical artist will provide you material. Marmoset has the material, but also the thing that we have made, we can make this plug and play. That's what we have done so far, making our texture a parameter. But before we finally demonstrate this, let me just clean up these guys because it's going to be annoying in our material instance. So let me figure out our things. So let's start with the base color. So we are starting with base color and we are grouping it in base color. So all of our parameter goes in base color for base color, and sort priority for it will be 0. For our fuzz, for our brightness, it will be 1. And this goes in base color. For our fuzz, let's make it 3, I guess. Make it base color. Then we have our color cavity, which will go on base color, make it 4. Cavity color will be 5, it goes in base color. Sweet. Then I guess I want to leave my cavity to a separate of its own, so it's just cavity. Then we have it right here. Base color is done. AO should be wherever it is, don't care that much. Let's talk about normal map. So this one will go in normal, priority will be 0, that's fine. Normal intensity will be 1. Then we have our detail normal map being second, weight map being third. Wait, nope. Intensity of detail map will be third. This one will be fourth. And guess that's it. Oh, forgot to make them in normal. And this video might mostly be non-edited, so you guys can see what I'm doing. It's mostly non-scripted, so yeah, it has every messing things I've done, so keep that in mind. Normal, normal, normal. This one has normal. Okay, so that's our normal. That's our base color. Our base color cavity, everything is in. Just checking in if everything has a slot. Cavity has it. Oh, we haven't added a specular cavity. So let's talk about specular. This will be specular. Specular cavity should be in specular, but 1. Specular Fresnel will be 2, and in our specular. So there's that, there's that, there's that. Normal's done, base color done, this guy done. AO, we can leave it. Last thing will be roughness. Oh, one thing I forgot is our translucency. So it goes in the opacity, and translucency in Unreal does not matter using a map, so I just use a constant value. I forgot the spelling, ignore it please. Yep, so we have translucency done. It can be anywhere. Then we are starting with roughness. So the most important thing that I want it to have is the roughness base, which is right here. Nope. Where's my base color? Oh, there it is. Roughness base will be roughness 1. Use a roughness map will be 2. Actual roughness map will be 3. Roughness Fresnel should be 4. Roughness cavity will be 5. And then this one will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's make sure every of these guys belong. I hate it. I hate you, Unreal. So I have to go in and make roughness. I'm gonna speed up this process. Okay, so that's done. Let's save it and see if everything that we have done is working or not. Most of the time, 90% of the time, there's an error. So let's hope there is not. Oh, sweet, there was none. So what we're gonna do is now, ignore this thing, create a material instance. This will be our main, not main, this will be our instance. So if I drag and drop this guy in and double click, we have made our own material. So it has the same thing as Marmo said, you just drag and drop. So we have base color, we have cavity, normal, just checking everything if it's working or not. All right, awesome, everything is working. So let's give it a go. No, not saving it. Okay, so let's take our thing for a spin. Let's move it here. Close this guy, import in our maps. Guess I'm gonna split up the setting up part into a separate video. This one has exceeded the time limit of 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.